Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Rise Up Voices from the Frontline. And today we're going to do things a little bit differently. Today we're actually going to focus on some really big announcements coming out of Rise Up Phoenix Trauma and Crisis Institute. We are partnering with a powerhouse, Dr. Michelle Burkhard, and I cannot wait to introduce you to her, tell you about some of the amazing things that are coming your way. And she has an offer for you guys that I am 100% on board with, and I think all of you should grab, because the just amount of diversity of cool things that you can experience with her is phenomenal. You're gonna love her. You're gonna love this content. So please welcome Dr. Michelle Burkhard to the stage.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm going to tell everybody that not only is she a business partner, but she's a very dear friend, and she is in this massive growth phase in her business and in her organization. And what is coming of that is this opportunity for you guys, because she's restructuring, which means she's going through all of these years of content that has been proven, it's time tested, it's science backed, it's awesome real world stuff. She's going through all this stuff and she's moving it from one place to another, which means you have the opportunity to get all of it at one really low price. So it's the no-brainer opportunity of the year. And normally, you guys know, I don't market, I don't advertise, I don't tell you about other people's deals. I tell you what resources are out there for you. But this is a can't miss. So I'm going to break my normal paradigm and kind of come out here and go, this is a marketing opportunity to say, don't miss this, because it's going to happen once and it's massive amounts of value. And I take her courses. I work with her on a peer level. Like, we literally like coach each other. So this is a person that has so much to give you guys. So tell us a little bit about this phase in your business and what is motivating you to change and transition, and this opportunity that you're providing.
Yes. Well, so yeah, I know your audience. When I say this, they're not going to be surprised, but Krista is an amazing magical unicorn. And I love her so much. I love that we both get to work together. And we have very parallel paths in our work. So it's been really fun, just us kind of encouraging each other. I kind of look at the two of us as like racehorses that are just kind of pegging each other. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So that's been really fun. So my business is GrowBy1. We've been around for almost 20 years now. This is our second restructuring. The world, when it changed in 2020, was a beautiful restructuring moment for us. A little panic for a minute, but we turned it into digital products and things like that. So before that, I was a speaker. I was a trainer. I traveled the world, 250 live events a year for 10 years, 25,000 speaking opportunities in that time. Just an amazing kind of growth period. And then, of course, turning everything into those digital products. So really good content that was proven in real life, now just in a different package. So my business now is, instead of me just being a speaker, me just giving content, we are really up-leveling to be able to teach others that. So there are folks who are amazing writers, but they really want to be a speaker. They don't know how to make that jump. Or someone who has been doing some stuff online, but now they want to go out and speak. They don't know how to make that jump. Or someone who has really great content, but it's seen as maybe a little less credible in maybe a corporate environment. So for example, soft skills, things like that. And so they need a little help to get into the places that actually need them, but yet they can't get in the door. And so we're creating this whole system within the business to do all of that, where we help speakers, trainers, coaches, and consultants be able to give CEUs. So for those of you who don't know them, continuing education units. This is really important in a lot of different fields and industries. So our business will be helping folks give CEUs in multiple industries all across the world, as we provide them really good training on how to become a really high quality speaker and trainer, as well as creating products that actually serve your people. We have a publishing house as well. So it's really a robust kind of, how do we replicate Michelle? How do we help other people learn the things that I've learned over the past 20 years, and do it in a way so that whatever their version is of Michelle can actually go make more positive impact in the world. And I'm very, very excited for that.
Yes, this is a big announcement for us because we have not partnered with anybody at this point, because you guys know me, we've been here forever. Integrity, authenticity, and alignment are the core principles of everything that I do. And if I don't 100% trust that an organization or a business has your best interests at heart and is going to pay enough attention to ask you what your best interests are, then I'm not going to work with them. And Rise Up Phoenix Institute is partnering with GrowBy1 to be able to provide, probably by the end of this year, to be able to provide those CEUs on all of our programs that are focused to our teachers and our organizations and all of our professional offerings. Not all of our courses will be offering CEUs, but the ones in those industries that are time tested and completely like of that quality and of that level, where we can pass that information on to people who will be passing that information on. We're going to be working together to expand the Institute and to be able to make sure that our teachers can afford the products, because they don't have to buy them themselves. They now will be able to get grants and get funding and get reimbursements and all of that stuff. So this is a big deal. And the process has already started. Michelle's already started this process. It's already been approved. So it is in the works and will be coming out tentatively October, November-ish. So don't hold me to that, but the goal and objective is the process is started, and we're hoping by the end of this year to be able to be offering those to you. Now, besides our organization working with her to do this, if you are a knowledgeable, educated coach or instructor and you have the qualifications to be able to do CEUs, you can apply to work with her organization and you can be approved to do this. So if you are, I know a lot of my audience is actually speakers or trainers, and if you don't have that ability yet, I'm going to provide her information below so that if that's something that you want to grow your business as well, you can actually reach out to her organization and she will help you get set up to do that. And we're just at the beginning of that process. So now is the time.
Now is the time.
You want. Now is the time to reach out.
Yes. And let me just say this too, because sometimes there's a lot of folks that I know that have a very niche kind of thing that they're talking about. So for example, leadership, right? If you're talking about leadership, but you're going to different fields and industries to do that. Oftentimes, like I'm a former educator, there is a system, a process that you can apply to give CEUs within a certain organization. But if I want to go do that over here in this business, or I want to go talk to nurses about this, it's the same content, right? Why shouldn't I be able to give CEUs for that? So what our business does is we say, we don't care where you go. We want to make sure you're a high quality trainer, speaker, consultant. We want to make sure that your content is really good. And once it is, we give you that seal of approval. You can go anywhere in the whole world and give that same content and be able to give those CEUs. So it does streamline some things for certain types of speakers and trainers.
So what do people need to do if they are interested in finding out more about that program with you?
Yeah, so just email me. We'll set up a Zoom to chat just to see where you're at, what your experience level is, what are you looking to do? Is this a good fit for you? That would be the easiest thing.
Okay, and we'll include the email down below, obviously, but go ahead and say that just so that in case somebody is hearing this in the car and that's all they've got.
Sure. So it's my first name, Michelle, with 2 L's, Michelle at growby1.com. So GROWBY and the number 1, growby1.com. And
you guys are all used to that with me and all my numbers. If there's a number, it's probably the number, not written out.
Yeah.
So also, just because it's a very short period of time that she's offering this and there's something really fun happening with her business, besides the CEU program, which a lot of you guys are going to be really interested in, there is right now a flash sale happening. And this is the content packages that I was telling you about. This is the one time, like, everything's moving, so it's all like right in her face right now. So she's created these huge packages. If you want 5 or 6 different courses in a certain thematic, you can have all of them at a price that is absolutely ridiculous, because it's literally the price of one of the normal courses. So if you want to play, and I use that word seriously and with intent, if you want to play in Michelle's world, this is your opportunity to explore that at a very cost-effective way. So tell us about the flash sale and the products. And like, I've taken a number of your courses and I love your stuff. So of course, that's why I'm sharing, because I trust that my audience will actually like you and they will like your stuff.
Yes. Well, and let me just say thank you. That is such an honor, for you, someone that I trust and respect, and I absolutely love your work, to say the same about me. I don't want to take that lightly. So in this restructuring, my business partners came to me and said, Michelle, you have hundreds, if not thousands of hours of content. What are you doing with it? And I'm like, not a lot. So it was kind of like, here's the warehouse of all of this information, really good stuff that you've created throughout the years. We just have to get it off the shelf, get it into people, so that we can build the next thing that's coming. And I was like, that sounds great. So they've been helping me. So yeah, you get to reap the benefit of Michelle's mistake. That's what I keep saying. I should have been selling this all along, but I was just too focused on actually creating good content. So we have several different packages. The first one is, I'll say it's a personal development package. So, and I have a really strong belief that I don't share anything with anybody that I haven't lived out myself. That is very important to me. So I'm not like reading a book and saying, hey, you should know this. No, I've had a lived and failed and learned experience of all of my content. Okay, so if you plug into the content long enough, you'll know who Michelle is as a person. So the personal development package is, the first course in there is Life on Purpose. We've had over 600 folks go through that. I say it's kind of like a mindset, character development course, but it covers some really juicy topics like drama. Why in the world do we have drama? Where did it come from? And how can we get rid of it? Anybody know anybody that needs that one? And then also things like forgiveness and gratitude, and what happens when you're trying to make a change where you reach the terror barrier. What do I do with that, right? And then also in that package, we have money mindset, because that's a big thing. You can't work on who you are as a person unless you approach that. We also have self-image mastery, which is a beautiful program that really gets you to look at yourself as a person. How do you see yourself? This is really important because it informs how you see everything else. It's not telling you who you are. It's getting you to like, who am I and who do I want to be and how do I make that leap? And then also we've got the 12 universal laws. I really, really love that course because it shows you, here are the laws that guide our universe. That number one, powerful. But when you apply them to your thinking, oh, wait a minute, something's not going right in my life. Is there a law here that I'm breaking or I'm not unaware of, and I can just make a shift in my thinking? So that's a personal package. We also have a business building package. If you're interested in knowing how to start a podcast, we have over 1,400 episodes. I've learned a thing or two. Note taking, I have that one a lot of people like. I have a different way of note taking that really gets the information into you in a fast way, to where you'll never have to look at your notes again. So if you're a learner like me, that's really valuable. We also have things like how to create content. There's formulas that are very easy that actually are more powerful than some of the AI content that's coming out. So I'll talk to you about that, as well as how do you run a membership group? That is literally paying my bills these days. So all of that is in the business building package. And then we have our other one. This is my baby. So I have some spiritual giftings that have been natural in my life. I regularly spend days with angels, and they have taught me a lot. And so we have several angel courses. The first one is really teaching you the 22 angels that are with you all the time. Whether you know it or not, you have 22 angels with you right now in this second, and they will teach you a lot about life. And then there's managing your emotions. And so if you're like me, who's a little bit newer to this idea of emotions and processing all of that, it's helpful to have some partners in that. And then also Playground of the Mind. So it takes you through the 11 types of thinking. And also, which one of those are you really good at right now? There's 4 or 5 of them that you're really good at. I can guarantee you that. And then the other ones, maybe not so much. So you can play around with that, but angels will come in to help you with that thinking as well. So those are just some of the courses in that package. We have also a one-to-one session. So if you are interested in what we call an angel reading, which is really where you come and you say, this is what's going on in my life, and whatever messages will come, I will just share that with you. So, and then the final package is really if you want all 3 of those. So I'll be honest that all 3 packages separately are 80% off. And so normally together, all of them would be $2,500 and you're getting $500. But if you buy all 3 of the packages, they're 90% off. So normally you pay $7,500 and you're paying $650. So if you're interested in more than one of those packages, just buy all 3. I promise you, yes, you'll have enough to play around with. That's for sure.
And just for those of you, because I know I've never had her in this group, and most of you guys have probably never seen or heard of her stuff because she is so far outside of our loops, of our circles. She's very in the educational field, and so there's a lot of that. And I know I lean a lot, you guys, a lot of you are more masculine. There are some other things that you can learn from Michelle that are really uniquely spiritual. And that's something that a lot of you guys reject. But the reality of a full spectrum life is that you do have to recognize that there is something bigger than yourself. And there is a moment in time that we all tend to come to where we go, I have mortality, right? I have there's a date stamp. I have this finiteness to my world. And you start asking questions. And if you're not there yet, it might be just kind of like, oh, I'm not interested in anything that has to do with, God or universe, or I am really uncomfortable with all this terminology. Michelle is not a person who's coming at you from this is right. There's one way to think about this. Religion is this way. Everything is cut and dry. She is a very open-hearted, open-minded. There is a concept here. Take it to where you take it. Make it your own. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you this is the way or a way. She's opening doors for you to explore. So when she says angels, don't get panicked and go, well, that's not for me. You might be surprised how much it is for you and how much it's not what you think it is.
Yes. Right? Thank you. Let me just say this, that my background, very logical. I know I didn't bring up my degrees here. I've got a bachelor's in elementary education, a master's in early childhood education, a master's in psychology, and a PhD in assessment, evaluation, and accountability. I got the masculine. I got the order. I got the logic. You want to map out something that's going to change the world? I got you. And I'm equally as woo-woo. And the reason being is because you can't separate yourself as a whole person. I have had some experiences in my life. I've died 3 times in this lifetime. 7.5 minutes of this lifetime, I have been dead, clinically dead. And I had experiences that if you want to know, I'll definitely share them with you. But I could no longer deny that was a part of our human existence. And the one thing that I found for myself and also with my clients is that when you combine all parts of you, so I'm not just talking spiritual and logical, but also emotional, energetic, relational, when you are a whole complete person, there's a magic that happens in life that you can't get anywhere else. And sometimes we try to solve a problem with our thinking when that's where the problem came in the first place. And Einstein said you can't solve a problem in the same thinking that you had it with. And so you're trying to solve a mental problem when the answer might be a spiritual or an energetic one. And as soon as you get that message, you're like, oh, yes, now I know what to do. And so if you've been like stuck in a rut and like you have recurring problems that will not go away no matter what you do, chances are there's a message for you that's just waiting there, waiting for you to open up. And as soon as you get that one message, you'll know exactly what to do from there.
Yep. I'm really happy to have you here because I am stingy about who I share with my people. And I think there's a lot of you that I've been, especially people that I've been working with and people that know me really well. There's a lot of you that are ready to meet Michelle. And there's a lot of you that don't know that you're ready to meet Michelle. Yeah. So I would not bring her if I didn't think that she had something to benefit you with. Yeah. And another really cool lesson I'd like to give you guys, because I know a lot of you are starting businesses and I hear a lot of fear from a lot of you guys. Yeah. You listening to us, you hear how similar our programming is. You probably are already going, wait, don't you have some courses like that? Yes, I do. And I don't feel like we're competition at all. Yeah. I feel like you can gain from me and you can gain from her simultaneously, and one does not take away from the other. You need as much power and energy and resources you can possibly have. Why would I tell you that my way is the way and it's all you need? That is so irresponsible. And I absolutely hate it when coaches and leaders and gurus and whatever, if they're telling you that their world is the world that you can be in and that you should not listen to all those other people. No, you should you should expose yourself to different ways of thinking. Yeah. You should expose yourself to different ideas around the same concept so that you can actually figure out what is your pathway. Yes. Because my pathway and Michelle's pathway are not necessarily your pathway. Yours might rest somewhere in between ours. Or you may take something I say and something she says and find someone else that has the point that actually hits for you. Or we might say the same thing in different ways and you only hear it. It's the same information, but you only hear it or you only receive it from one of us, right? Yeah. So there is growth and power in experiencing different voices. So if you're starting a business, don't be afraid of competition. Don't be afraid that someone else is going to take your people, because your voice is unique and their voice is unique. And if you align with the values of the person and you feel comfortable sharing that person's integrity and authenticity, if you feel like that's a person that you trust, share them, because more is not taking away. More is more love, more expansion, more knowledge, more skills, more tools, more resources. It doesn't take away from you in your business to share more with your clients, even if it looks like, oh, well, what if I buy her course? Now I'm not going to buy your course. I guarantee you that if you're thinking about that concept, both are useful. So it doesn't hurt me at all.
Absolutely. Well, and you know, okay, if you buy my course and you hear something, but you're working one-on-one with Krista, you're going to go to Krista to talk about it. That's a beautiful thing, right? And sometimes, let's be honest, folks, Krista shares a lot of really great information, and sometimes you're just not listening, right? And so sometimes when you hear the same thing in a different way from a different person, it gets in. And Krista is secure enough that she's not going to be bothered by that. She's actually looking for those opportunities. And I got to tell you, I over the years that Krista and I've gotten together, I can't tell who has influenced each other more. I really can't at this point. There's such a synergy. We spent almost an hour just talking, and finally we were like, hey, we probably should hit the record button, and so I don't take it lightly that you put your stamp of approval on me, and I put my stamp of approval on you too. And I don't do that for anybody. And so the one thing that came up for me when you were sharing that last bit was this, a triangle, right? So the listener, you and me, and whatever life is inside that triangle is going to get magnified. So you don't have to save your money for Krista, and you don't even have to buy my course. It doesn't even matter. But even just listening to this message, I hope that inspires you. But I absolutely know this because we've had these conversations. Neither one of us is interested in creating some sort of cult or exclusive group. If anything, we're like, listen, test me on everything that I say. Go out, read a book, listen to a podcast, buy someone else's course. Go see if it's in alignment with where you are in your life right now. And so I think this is just one of those beautiful opportunities for my work to back up your work that you're already doing with Krista.
Absolutely. So if you want one of these packages, we're actually going to stick the links. This will be on all of our different locations. So for some of you, it'll be above. For some of you, it will be below. Most of the social media ones, it'll be below. I'll make sure that they're there. If they're not there, message me. But I'll try to make sure that it gets on all the different platforms. I'm going to just put this out today, like right away, because this is a really short time offer. And Michelle does have a podcast. So if you're curious and you're like, I'm not buying a course from that person yet, like I'm not sure I buy into this yet, there is a podcast. And I do actually recommend that you guys start playing in her world a little bit and get to know her a little, because again, I would not share if there was not a ton of value to be had from knowing this person. Like, she is someone you need to know. So you can know her and you can experience her without investing any money. If that's the place you are and you want to put your toe in the water. If that's all that you're ready for, please start listening to her podcast. They're very short episodes. They're like actionable every time. There is some kind of tool or resource or step you can take, or there's a reflection question that goes deep for you. So take advantage of that as well. So tell us, what is your podcast? Where can they find it?
Sure. So anywhere you can find a podcast. The title is Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. You should click on the one that has my big fat head on there, and you'll know it's me. We do have 1,400 episodes. They are very short. They are intended to be, I pretend that I'm sitting across the table from you and we're having coffee. That's it. 10, 15 minutes usually. The longer ones are like recordings of webinars that I did, but there's not a lot of those lately. But lots of people just listen on their way to work to get kind of an inspirational, one client said it's my inspiration vitamin. And to have a reflection question to kind of sit with them for the day. So it's not meant to be some big, huge production. We don't edit, we don't produce. We just sit and have a chat and drink some coffee and just very nonchalantly change our life.
Right.
So you can find it anywhere. Yeah.
I think it's really funny because you and I are both kind of that same personality of like, here it is. This is what it is. If it's useful to you, take it. If it's not, so be it. Like,
that's life. That's life. Like I get it. I'm not knocking anybody who does an edited or produced podcast or, whatever. I'm not knocking it. It's just that's like 20 minutes of my day. And then the day goes on. Right. And so like, we're not going to get all fussy about it. And I think sometimes when we're changing our life, and I believe all of your listeners are in that place, we get a little too worked up, don't we? As humans, we like things complicated because we think if we create this complicated system that somehow, that gives it credibility and it's actually going to work. And in reality, you need one really good question. One really good question can change your whole entire trajectory. I've been in meetings before where everybody stands up and they have these beautiful ideas and people think the person in the room with the best idea wins. No, they don't. the person in the room with the best question wins, because I'll use a term. This is not what I mean, but I can take all of the ideas down by asking one question and shifting everything in the room. I've done this over and over and over again. I am also a master coach, by the way. One question from a podcast that you're listening to on your way to work can change you more than sitting down and listening to anything else that we do, to be honest. We don't know what's going to change you, so that's why we ask a lot of questions. So I do think, I love how you term that, though, Krista, to just play. Just play. Just go in, just see, just play. There's enough episodes in there. I always tell people, listen responsibly. It's a lot to listen to. But, choose a few things and just check it out. And if you like it, say, all right, let me go see what's in that package, and let me see if I want to do that.
So you're going to be seeing a lot more of Michelle and I together as this partnership comes into play, and as the Institute comes into play. And it looks like she said, we're very parallel. So it actually looks like she's going to have a similar kind of format coming on. So we'll be publishing books. We'll be working with you guys on CEUs. We'll be working with you guys on courses. And we're probably going to put some of her courses in my institute. We're probably going to put some of my courses in hers. So there's going to be some crossover. You're going to be seeing some partnerships coming out. And who knows what we'll write together. Like, we haven't even talked about it yet, but there's some stuff coming in the future. So you're going to see more of us together teaming up to create some fun things for you guys. And it is really important to stick with that terminology. It is play, it is fun. And if it isn't play, and if it isn't fun,
don't do it.
Then maybe you're not ready for that particular part of the process yet. And you're forcing things that you don't need to force. Because if you come at it when you're ready, and if you come at it when it's the right time, and when it's in alignment for you, and it's the natural growth process, then you're going to find that there's much less resistance, and it's much less painful. And yes, growth has some friction to it sometimes, but it doesn't have to be forced and brutal and ugly, and that is not what we're here for. So and
let me just leave you with this idea of growth so that you can understand this. Like, if you look at a fruit tree, an apple tree, right? An apple tree, it doesn't have to force itself to grow. It's just in the environment for growth, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. And when it's time to give fruit, which is the result of growth, it doesn't go, pop, and then you get an apple. Have you ever seen a tree do that? I don't think they do that when we're not looking. And so that's how it can be with us, that you're in the right environment. So when we say play, sometimes I tell my people, listen, just let these words wash over you. Don't try to grab onto them. Don't try to control them. Don't even try to have a plan. Just kind of bathe in the words. And before you know it, you're going to have fruit. You're going to have results. You're going to have changes in your life. You're going to look around and be like, what the heck has happened here? You're going to surprise yourself. But if you try to control it, guaranteed you're going to hurt yourself. At least that's my experience of me.
Right. All right. So we're going to head out for today. But again, the links are going to be down there. If you have any questions, email. If for some reason you cannot get a hold of her, message me and I will connect you. And we will be back to tell you guys all kinds of new things as the CEU situation progresses, and as we have more information, and as these courses are available in different formats. Of course, we'll let you know. I really cannot encourage you enough to get to know Michelle. She is a wonderful person and a wonderful coach and a wonderful speaker. So you can come at her from all kinds of different angles. So thank you so much for listening, and I will be back again, of course, tomorrow. See you all later.